morning. In the previous classes, we had a discussion on the land resources and the soil resources. So in this class, we are going to discuss about the water resources. Okay, Earth is known as a watery planet. We have discussed it in junior classes also. Why it is known as a watery planet? Because around 70% of the Earth is covered with water and around 30% is covered with land. That's why it is known as a watery planet. Out of that 70% water, 97% of water is from the oceans and seas. 3% water is only the fresh water. It means the fresh water on the surface of earth is very limited. Now out of that 3%, so there is also a distribution. 0.32% is from lakes, rivers and the atmospheric and soil moistures. 2% is from the ice caps and glaciers. And 0.68% is the groundwater. So this 3% of water is known as surface water. Now why it is known as surface water? Because it is found on the surface of the earth. And this is the fresh water. So this is the water distribution. And you know about the hydrological cycle also. Okay. So how rainfall is caused, and you read in science also, in class 7th also you have discussed about hydrological cycle, that there are 3 processes. First evaporation, then condensation, okay, then after condensation it falls again on the surface of earth in the form of precipitation. So that is hydrological cycle, how because of heat the water is evaporated, then it is accumulated, that is condensation, okay, and after that when it becomes heavy, the clouds become heavy and they fall down in the form of precipitation. So there is an image also, you will draw that image in your copy also. For the purpose of examination, there can be a question on hydrological cycle also. And the world is divided into high rainfall area and low rainfall area. From this chapter a map work also will be there. So at the end of the video I will attach the map also, so that you will do the map work also. Okay. So like the areas of Amazon basin, they are high rainfall areas. Like desert areas like Sahara desert, they are the low rainfall areas. So this you have to look at in the map of the world. Now next we will discuss how water is polluted. So there are various causes of water pollution. Mainly they are categorized into industrial waste and the urban waste. Okay, so because of this water is polluted and it causes many diseases. Because of water pollution many diseases are caused, and the diseases like a few of the diseases are given in your book, like cholera, jaundice, typhoid, etc. These diseases are caused by water pollution. So we have to take care of water. We should get good water, and water should not be polluted. Next we will discuss multi-purpose river valley projects, means dams. Building up one or a series of dams on the river is known as a multi-purpose river valley project. इतना बड़ा नाम क्यों है? बहुत सारे purpose solve करते हैं. Multi-purpose, not single purpose. It solves many purposes. That's why it is known as multi-purpose projects. And it is made on the river valley. So that's why multi-purpose river valley projects. क्या क्या काम करते हैं ये? Like it helps in irrigation, okay, generating hydroelectricity. हाइड्रोइलेक्ट्रिसिटी कैसे प्रोड्यूस होता है? आपके यहाँ आसपास में बहुत सारे डैम्स है. व्हेन यू गो टू विजिट ए डैम यू कैन फाइंड दैट हाउ थ्रू टर्बाइंस द वाटर, okay, so from the running water electricity is generated. So it generates hydroelectricity also. Then afforestation, it helps in afforestation. Then flood control, डैम से फ्लड कंट्रोल होता है. बहुत ज़्यादा पानी आता है तो जहाँ डैम है वहाँ रोका जाता है. सो इन दिस वे इट also helps in flood control. Then it helps in navigation in those areas where roadways, railways are not possible, and so then it helps in navigation also. So these are the various purposes of multi-purpose river valley projects. Next 3 आपके डैम दिया हुआ है. कौन सी एरिया में ये बड़े बड़े मल्टीपर्पज रिवर वैली प्रोजेक्ट्स? इंडिया में दामोदर एंड हीराकुद, then Aswan Dam in Egypt and Hoover Valley Dam in USA. These are some of the multi-purpose river projects given in your book that you will remember. Okay. Now, because of building of such multi-purpose river valley projects or dams, so ecological problems are also created. That's why the environmentalists, they protest against building of large dams. So what problems are created by building of large dams? Let us discuss. The first one is that it submerges the areas. जिस एरिया में डैम बनाया जाता है तो एक्सटेंसिव एरियाज आर सबमर्ज अंडर इट, फॉरेस्ट कवर जो है उसमें सबमर्ज हो जाता है. सेकेंडली, वाटर इज डाइवर्टेड, जो फ्री फ्लो एक तरफ जा रहा था दैट इज वाटर इज डाइवर्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ बिल्डिंग ऑफ डैम्स. देन पॉपुलेशन ऑफ दैट एरिया इज ऑल्सो डिस्प्लेस्ड. ओके, एंड इट ऑल्सो लीड टू सॉइल इरोजन. जिस एरिया में रहेगा उस एरिया में सॉइल, जिस एरिया में डैम बनता है उस एरिया में सॉइल इरोजन का चांसेस भी रहता है. एंड इफ देयर इज एक्सटेंसिव रेनफॉल देन दिस डैम्स, when it is excess of water is there, sometimes it also may lead to flood. So these are the reasons for which the environmentalists are against building of large dams. Now the last topic in this chapter we will discuss about is conservation of water. Water is very limited on the surface of earth. As we have started in the beginning itself, that only 3% of surface water is there. So there is a need to conserve water. Okay, so there can be a question of 3 marks that why there is a need to conserve water. So you will start with that. There is a very less limited source of water, and the water source, the resource is very limited. It's only 3%, and besides that, because of global warming, so the frequency of rainfall has become unpredictable. So there is a need to conserve water. Now there can be various methods to conserve water. The first thing can be, we should have water harvesting system. All of you know that the government have made it compulsory that whenever you construct a new building, there should be water harvesting system. So water harvesting is one of the way to conserve water. Secondly, we should increase vegetation cover. So increasing vegetation cover also will conserve water. And the third, recycled water. We should use recycled water wherever and whenever possible. Fourth, domestic demand of water can be fulfilled. So the domestic demand of water can be fulfilled by reusing of water. Like suppose you are washing clothes, this water or cleaning utensils, this water you can use for, okay, so watering plants also. Now next one is modern methods of irrigation. We can use the modern methods of irrigation like drip irrigation, trickle irrigation. Sometimes you find in big gardens you find triple irrigation is there, drip irrigation is there, so that more water will not be wasted. Then dams, building of dams also will store water, will conserve water. The next one is water fixtures. Whenever you visit malls and other areas, water fixtures are there, so that whenever so unnecessary water flow won't be there. Whenever you will tap it, then the water will come out. So water fixtures also can help in conservation of water. And educating and sensitizing people, that is very important. Like you find that in slum areas the water it's just flowing the whole day and nobody is taking care, so that should not be there. Sometimes you yourself, when you brush your teeth, you keep the tap on, so that should also not be there. So sensitizing people, educating people to conserve water is one more way to conserve water, or one more method of water conservation. So this is the end of the topic. We have completed all the 3 topics. They are very easy topics, very important topics from the the point of view of the day-to-day life. Soil, land, water, these 3 are very essential for survival. So we have completed these 3 topics in chapter 2. Thank you all. Have a nice day.